All right, all right, all right. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, good. Uh-huh. So just waiting for your friend first because we can start the class at 1:30, right? Just remind all of you again that for next week we are going to have the midterm exam, right? So what I need to inform to all of you here is that we're gonna have the on-site taking midterm exam on that day. So just be on time at 1:30. So basically for a midterm exam, I just let you do for the TOEIC test. The first part is that listening comprehension, right? Listening comprehension, listening skills, right? 100 questions, and then you have to do with Google form, right? But you need to be presented yourself as identity check on that day, right? Just remind again, right? Be on time. We can do only for 2 hours, only 2 hours, just because I have to make sure that the test must be relevant to the real test of the TOEIC test. So I just let you do just only for 2 hours. The first part is that a listening comprehension, right? And the second one is that reading test. But I just I'm choosing only part 5 and part 6, which are concluding incomplete sentence and text completions here, just because I think that for the final exam, you are asked to do a reading section instead, right? So for the midterm, just doing for grammar part or vocabulary in context here. Great. So for those students who want to exempt, right, just make sure that you have right, the names, right, and ID student, and let's say like just make sure that you got the proof of the TOEIC test too, just because if you don't have any proof, I cannot even finalize the grade system at the end of this semester. I'm going to share the idea or the information into the line group again, right? Okay, that's just make sure if you want to exempt, submit me the TOEIC score, right? A real TOEIC test or even British Council score, and then just put a photo into the line note, and then I just observe and see how many of us who exempt for this course. Yeah. All right, so I understand that some of you may ready to study, right? So what we're first doing now is that I think we should have to check the attendance for today class number 7, right? So I just want your name and ID student and just write into the line group, please. Just because this is the attendance check, right? So everyone, let's have a look into the line group. Yeah, yeah. Wait a second. Attendance check, is that right? Okay. Let's get started for the attendance check for today class. Again, right? To some of you just zoom in right now, right? I just remind that next week we are going to have the midterm on-site exam, right? So basically, you have to be on time before, let's say 1 o'clock or 1:15, just because I'm going to start the test at 1:30. Basically, it's about like a TOEIC test, TOEIC preparation, right? So what you need to do is that just doing listening section for 45 minutes, and then doing for the grammar test, right? Vocabulary test for let's say 75 minutes. So the total hours accumulated for the exam day is at 2 hours only, right? Meaning that you can finish before 3:30. and then I just release and just let you go home. Yeah. So remind again, just on site, right? I'm going to give the information on the test exam again into the line group, and just make sure that you come there on time. All right. Okay, now we can start learning for class number 7 here. Everyone can check the attendance into the line group. Just make sure that you got, and then you have done for this kind of attendance, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Good. I hope you guys ready, right? If you're ready, just type 1 for me, please. Okay, good, good. All right. I do understand that. Is there any group presentation for this week? If has, just
yes.
yeah, just raise your hand for me, please. Team members, just raise your hand for me, please, and then I'm going to let you share the screen here. Wait a second. I have to stop my screen first, right? Okay, good. Yeah, so if you're ready for a presentation, you can share your screen and let's get started.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly. Yeah. All right, let's start for a presentation. Hey, go ahead.
Okay. Hello everyone. Today I will present about the math participant from the TOEIC exam. First, let's take a look at the question number 1.
For the question number 1, sales have dropped dramatically last year. Rank cuts in the production and employment. The answer is C, necessitating. In this sentence, necessitating is used to show that the drop in sales has made cut in production and employment necessary or required. It accurately conveys the cause and effect relationship between the drop in sales and the need for cuts. So the word necessitating indicate that the drop in sales has led to the necessity of making cuts in product and employment. Next question. When ranked winter drivers, you have the option to delete only the printer driver or remove the entire printer driver package. The answer is number D, removing. Removing is a present participle. The present participle are often used to indicate actions that are ongoing or in the process. Here in this sentence, it emphasizes the action of removing printer drivers as an active and continuous process. Next question. We are interested in the woman ranked in the last share of the first row. The answer is number C, sitting. In this sentence, sitting is used as a present participle. So the word sitting is used to describe the action of the woman taking her seat in the last chair of the third row. Next question. Mr. White is a man ranked that the accumulated defeated this year will be higher. The answer is A, predicting. Mr. White is a man is the main cause of this sentence. Predicting is the present participle that functions as a participle phrase modifying Mr. White. It describes what Mr. White is doing or his current action. In this context, predicting is used to indicate that Mr. White is currently engaged in the activity of making predictions. Next question. The house ranked in 1995 was one of the Mrs. Rocher's most beautiful houses. The question is number A, built. The word built is a past participle and it is used to indicate that the house was constructed or created in 1995. This usage is in the past tense, making built is the appropriate choice in this context.
Next question. A man of action he found it difficult to sit still for the long period. The answer is question C, because the subject of the sentence is he, the verb which precedes the phrase at the beginning of the sentence. Therefore, it must be in the form present participle. Next question. By the tiger, he ran away. The answer is question C, because the subject of the sentence, he is the person who was seen by the tiger. The verb at the beginning of the sentence must therefore be a past participle to show the action being taken. Next question. Returning to my apartment. The answer is question C, because the sentence begins with the phrase which is preceded by present participle. Therefore, the subject of the sentence which is after the comma. Next question. Searching in the library, I came blank and all forgotten manuscript. The answer is question D, because present participle at the beginning of the phrase and at the beginning of the sentence by expanding the chairman address in the sentence after the comma to say that the subject is the person doing the verb that is showing being the person doing action from the sentence below. Next question.
For question number 10, blank in wine. Snails are a great luxury in various parts of the world. The answer is C, because subject is snails, which was cooked in wine. Next, the customers blank to the new advertising campaign interestedly. The answer is A, because in this sentence has not finite verb, so we have to choose the finite verb. Next, is Andy sick? Yes, blank. All those long hours exhausted him. The answer is question number 4, working. Because in the sentence, working is a present participle. Present participle are often used to indicate an ongoing action or as the part of the progressive verb tense. In this case, working describes the action and this is what engages in when he became exhausted. And for the last question, to tell you the truth, flank the campaign, blank me a little. It's very blank. The question is C, because to use of disappointed, which is a past participle, and boring is appropriate in this context to convey the meaning that the campaign made the speaker feel disappointed and the campaign itself is uninteresting or lacking excitement. And that is for our group. Thank you for your attention.
All right, thank you so much for a good presentation. Great. Just make sure that you sent me a PDF file, right? PDF file for slide presentation into the line group. Just make sure, right? Just because I can finish all of the presentation and grading the score to all of us together. Yep. Okay. Great, everyone is ready, right? So thank you again for a team presentation for this week. I can say that I can summarize a bit just because when it comes to have the grammar test for the TOEIC test, so you need to understand the information related to part of speech, which is really focused on the adjective, just because I can say that for the adjective, it can be formed in a different way. For example, like ing as a present participle, or ed past participle here, or even the form like you need to add a suffix or prefix suffix that is can indicate that it's all about like the form of an adjective in a single sentence, or a phrase or noun or a structure that can be dealt with a TOEIC test. Thank you so much for your sharing your presentation here. Great, done, right? Okay, good. So now let's moving on to the first activity for this week number 7, right? So I'm going to let you think about it, right? So basically it's about a perspective, I can say, so general ideas that you can practice as a floor for speaking, right? So basically you can share. There is no right or wrong with this kind of terms or opinions here, but I just want you to just engage with this kind of interactive activities altogether. You don't have to talk long, but you don't have to talk short too, I can say, but just say something based on your opinions or your own personal experiences, right? So we can see from this this activity, so all of you can see from the slide, what do you think about what do you think about life is journey, not a destination? So basically it is very important to our perspective, just because it seems to all of us that we are going to see like the positive way of our life. So just compare life is a journey. It's not just expected goal or destination here. So what do you think about the journey? So I'm going to say that you can share the idea, or you can share to your classmates based on your own experiences too, because I think we're gonna have something to say based on our life, that you are college student, university city student, and you have to study a lot on language skill, right? Or literacy, things like that. Do you think it is have something difficult or easy way to share, right? Just because we can learn from each other. Learning is sharing, and sharing is learning here. If you're choosing for B-boy here, right? What do you think about transformation can often look ordinary? It is a slow process. So basically for this one is that just because I think the core question here is deal with changes, right? Just because we have to accept changes that happen to our life from time to time. So it may come up with a transformation that is often to be simple or ordinary. For example, like we have to live in a digital world. We use mobile phone. We use, everything, all of application in an easy way, right? So this is kind of acceptance of changes, and is a bit related to the transformation that we have to adaptable a bit. But it takes time to do so. So what do you think about such a skills in English? Right, for example, like speaking or writing, it takes time to change it to be better. So it's just kind of a slow process. If you have something to share, just share it, right? Again, right? The instruction is that just choose first A or B, and I'm going to let you prepare bits. Try to research, try to search for some information, and try to understand the core question first, and then just share the idea to your classmate here, right? Okay. If you're ready, I'm going to let you prepare for 5 minutes. But if you're ready, just turn on the microphone and choose first, and then talk. Yeah. All right. I guess that some of you may ready, right? Just turn on, right? Turn on the microphone first and then choose the question given here. Yeah, good. Go ahead.
I should A
Mm-hmm.
about life is a journey, not a destination.
Yeah.
I think that when you're living your life, there is not specific destination to go. Like it mean like your life is not in there. It's like when you talk about journey, it's all about like trying, and there is not specific destination. You have to try all of the way and think about it which way is suit for you. There is not specific destination to go.
I see. Thank you so much for your sharing here. Great, great, great. Just type perfect. Right, just make sure that you got perfect. All right, just because I can check the attendance or participation based on the attendance checks, and you have to provide for some fun activities for all of us together. Right, thank you so much for one of your friends just said that life is journey. We don't have to expect much on the the exact direction that we are going to do to go or to research, right? But just remind, so one of your friends, he said that just remind that it must be suitable or just direct to what you are going to live a life as it is expected to see, right? Thank you so much for your sharing here. All right, feel free to share. Good. Next.
I should question A too. I really agree with this context because while we're living and growing, it is like we want to find more challenges and find what we can do, what we're good at, and yeah, what we like is like a journey because it has a lot of experience that we can learn along with the way.
All right, thank you so much for your sharing here. Just type perfect place. All right. So one of your friends just mentioned that we can look at surrounding or environment that will happen from time to time, right? Just because it's going to have a result, even it is a little thing or it's massive thing or huge thing that you can, learn from it. So it's life is about journey. It's not a destination here. All right. Thank you so much for your sharing here. Next, please.
I choose A too.
Mm-hmm.
I really like this sentence because you don't need to force life too hard. Just let it be. And I think we should trust our guts. Like every mistake is a step to grow, and each happiness of yesterday is a memory for tomorrow. That's why life is journey.
Great. Thank you so much for your sharing here. Just type perfect place. All right. So one of your friends just mentioned that if we look at the life as a journey, so we don't have to pressure ourselves much just because life can be hectic for some situation, but we can see from a positive side and then go on what we are going on, right? Or move forward to be a better person of yourself. That's great. Next, please.
I choose A too. I think life is a journey to discover new things that you have never seen or known before, and to find what you like or dream of.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Thank you so much. Just type perfect, please. Great. Just make sure that everyone got perfect for today's class, just because we are all perfect, even we far from perfection here. Yeah, so one of your friends just said that life is a big mystery and unexpected situation we cannot even seek out from time to time. So if we look at the dimension of life's journey, we can passage from what we never known it before, right? So we can cultivate our positive mindset and see as what we have to do or we have to face for it. Yeah, great. Thank you so much for your sharing. So next please. Yeah, just because there is no right or wrong, right? You can answer. Yeah, go ahead.
I should A.
I think this sentence made us realize that we still have so much time in our life to be adventurous. Don't just focus on success. We must also look at the present. Experiences and lessons along the way are also important in our lives.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing here. Just because life has lots of dimensions that we have to look for, right? And one of your friends just mentioned that just because learning is can happen to everywhere, and life also the same, right? So what we need to see is that we have to see just a bright side, even we have facing or experiencing from the dark side, but we have to look in the fresh dimension of our life that it can be. Just make sure you got perfect into the line group. So how many of us respond for this kind of activity here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Am I correct? Right? Anyone want to share? Just turn on the microphone first and then talk. Yeah.
Can I choose B. I agree with this one because like sometimes it's a small thing that is transformed in our life and it will be like slow. For example, like our thing, sometimes we think about it in when we're young, and when we all grow up, we think like another way to like it's transformed in another way. So it's like a small thing in our life and it's so normal in our life. So we don't think about it. Yes.
Great. Thank you so much for your sharing here. Right. So one of your friends just mentioned that, yeah, just because life must be going on, right? And we don't have to make a pressure. We don't have to make a tough thing or difficult thing to see in the negative side. Just look forward and see for a bright side as a dimension of our life it can be. Thank you so much. Next, please. Right. Just make sure that you got perfect. Yeah.
It's me.
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Right. Yes.
Okay, I choose the first question about life's journey, not a destination. In my opinions, before we are who we are today, at every step of our life, we will face with choices that will decide the person you are when you reach destination. For me, we can catch up to get caught up in the destination and moving at the fastest planes. But I think that will really affect our future. So if you have the big future in mind and take time to make the right decision, I think we can able to look back and be proud of our journeys.
Great. Thank you so much for your sharing here. Just type perfect into the line group. Right. So one of your friends just said that just because we're going to have a choice and a life can be many choices that we can choose or even have decided to do so, right? And lots of things can come up with a life with unexpected or even expected that we have to see. Sometimes we have to accept or understand that what is going on toward a life it's like as a journey. It's not a destination that we have to focus on reaching at. Just because we have to, having fun or even cultivate a lot more, happiness from time to time. So this is very good for all of us today. Anyone want to share? You can choose number first and then talk, and put perfection into the line group here. It's good. Right. Don't be shy. This is a flow for speaking, and we are all LCI, right? We have to be fluent, actually. Yeah, perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? 7 students done for perfection for the first part of activity. Yeah. All right. Anyone want to share? Just turn on your microphone, please, and talk. Great. I do understand that it's enough for all of us. Is that right? If enough, you can type X for me, please. and I will move forward to the second activity, which is particularly mentioned on a TOEIC exam here. X done, right? Okay, let's get moving on. So, right, so for this part is a little bit detail, I can say, and all of you have to see from the 3 following questions that I deal with TOEIC test preparation, but I'm kind of like see relevant of thinking skill and TOEIC test preparation here. So we can see from the first question is that it asks toward like how does thinking skill matter in a TOEIC test preparation, and how does it enhance language proficiency, thereby setting a test taker apart? Meaning that, do you think you can use thinking skill? For example, you have to think the cause and effect while doing a test preparation, or even when it comes to have a grammar test or vocabulary test, do you need to carefully reconsider by using thinking skill in order to make sure that you pick up the right answer to the right blank? Things like that. Right? If you have any experience with that, just share to your classmate if you choose the question number 1 here. Second, we can see that while critical thinking, I can say that thinking skill, right? Help you with logical reasoning, creative thinking, encourage innovation, and also the way that unique problem-solving approaches. Basically, it's all about like if you have a problems, what would be proposed solution or even expected solution that you can deal with that problem. For example, when it comes to reading email, is that right? Things like that. And in the realm of context of TOEIC test preparation, do you think that thinking skill can help you generate for some kind of idea when it comes to have a writing task or even speaking prompt here? Basically for the TOEIC test, we just deal with listening and reading, right? But when it comes to having a real world in a professional setting or a future working, so I think that you are asked to do a prompt to the task with speaking and writing email. Is that right? Any clarification or the ideas that you can think of, thinking skill can improve or will help you for writing and speaking skill here, right? Just share the idea here. And the last question here, just because I do believe that thinking skill is necessary, and then how does thinking skill allow you to think outside the box? Meaning here is that any important of innovative thinking skill? Think outside the box may be important and play as a crucial role to the students or let's say future student that they are asked to do working in the professional context, right? Just because you need to remember that the skills required for a future professional, right? Is that creativity or even adaptation. So I would say that thinking outside the box may be an important aspect too. And then what kind of like a vocabulary or sentence structure, if we deal with a TOEIC preparation or we're doing the test here, right? A present their thought in engaging and impressive manner here. Do you think it might work for a TOEIC test preparation too? So on love for the 3 following questions here, I can say that you have to see connections between the 2. The first one is that thinking skill, right? Thinking skill. And the other one is that important for the TOEIC? Is that important for the real life situation? Or is that important to the skill required in English for the communication here? I hope you guys understand what I'm saying here, right? And then I'm going to give you for 5 minutes to prepare a bit, just because it is very detailed and you have to say something based on the information here. All right, if you're ready, you can turn on the microphone. But I would suggest that just find out the information first and then just share to your classmate here. เดี๋ยวให้เวลา5 นาทีนะฮะ Yes, you can ask me. Someone want to ask something here, right? ถามได้เลยครับ
ครับขออนุญาตหน่อยนะครับ
ครับผม
ครับพอดีว่ามีพี่ฝากถามมาเรื่องแบบเรื่องยื่นวิชานี้ที่ดรอปมาครับยื่นไม่ต้องเรียนคือพี่เขาจะถามว่าเจออาจารย์ได้ที่ไหนบ้างครับ หรือว่าจะให้ส่งลิงก์ซูมให้พี่เขาเลย
แบบหนึ่งนะ หมายถึงว่าเจออาจารย์ออนไซต์ได้ที่ไหนจริงๆแล้วดีลเป็นทางไลน์ก็ได้นะครับถ้าส่งสำหรับนิสิตที่ต้องการ accent เนี่ยก็แค่แบบยื่นคะแนน TOEIC เกิน700นะครับแล้วก็เขียนชื่อใน line note แค่นั้นเองเพราะว่าเดี๋ยวอาจารย์จะรวบรวมรายชื่อทั้งหมดแล้วก็ตัดเกรดทีเดียวตอนไฟนอลครับผม
อ๋อครับเหมือนเคยทักไปถามแล้วครับแต่ว่าอาจารย์ไม่ได้ตอบครับ
อาจารย์ไม่ได้ตอบเหรอทักในไลน์กลุ่มเพราะว่าน่าจะไลน์มีปัญหาใช่ครับทักในไลน์กลุ่มได้เลยนะฮะ alright ครับผม thank you for your questions here alright so yeah for this talkถึงไหนแล้ว where was I alright so I just let you prepare a bit for 5 minutes right if you finish before or sooner than a 5 minute set you can turn on the microphone here I hope you guys, some of you, may ready, right, for this kind of activity, discussion part, TOEIC preparation test and thinking skills. If you're ready, just turn on your microphone here and choose number 1 or number 2 or number 3, and then just share the ideas to your classmate.
All right. I have an idea would like to share on the number 3.
Good.
Thinking skill, like how does thinking skill allow you to think outside the box?
Yeah.
In my opinion, if you talk about the thinking skills, may help you on analysis, organize, like to think about the problem solving, something more like that. But if you want to think outside of the box, I think you have to be the creative thinking. You have to be like open-minded and creative to have to have the skill like thinking outside of the box. And it may, if you can think outside of the box, it may help you to, when you take a test, it may help you to like create more like more ideas, like more words. You have the idea to use the synonym words to like creative, to be like creative.
Mm-hmm.
And it would help your presentation or your sentence be more appropriate and better.
I see. Thank you so much for your sharing here. You can type excellent, excellent into the line group just because you have done a very great job and excellent how to outperform on the thinking skill outside the box through the way that you have to use thinking skill into like a practice test, especially when it comes to taking TOEIC exam, right? And I would say that thinking outside the box is a very important skill in the modern day, especially when it comes to have like a 21st century or the generation of Z that they are going to equip it with new technology, or even some kind of like you have to be more flexible and adaptable, right? So thinking might be creative would be an asset for your professional work in the future. Good. Thank you so much for your sharing here. Just type excellent into the line group for a second chance here. Anyone on the chat, you can turn on the microphone and then just choose it first, 1 or 2 or 3. Talk.
I choose number 3. I think creative thinking skill allow you to think outside the box by break away from traditional approach and generate innovative ideas or solutions to problems. Like creative, are people with creative thinking skill. They will have a strong imaginations and can visualize scenarios or ideas that haven't been explored before, and they can picture new possibility.
Great. Thank you so much for your sharing here. Just type excellent. Excellent, please, into the line group, right? So one of your friends just passed thinking outside the box is a skill that we have to make sure that we can, improve it. It doesn't mean that you can cultivate from the first start, but I would say that you can see based on your personal experiences, and we can adapt it or try to be flexible and thinking in such innovation or innovative ways. I would say that, yeah, everyone can do it, and thinking skill, it might be play an important role to make it happen in reality or in the professional way. Great. Thank you so much for your sharing here. Excellent. Please, next, anyone in the chat, just turn on the microphone and then just talk.
I choose question number 1.
All right.
Yes, I think thinking skill matter into test preparation because like they can help you studying better and thinking about to make a smart plan. Like you can focus on what you need to improve and use your time wisely, and in the part of test it will help you to test smartly, analyze information, and maybe pick the right answers. Yes.
Great. Thank you so much for your sharing here. Just type excellent. Excellent, please. Okay, so one of your friends said that it is important for test preparation or preparing the test, especially when it comes to the TOEIC test here, right? Sorry. So I can say that, yeah, I do agree with that, just because sometimes we need to use logical reasoning thinking skill, right? Just because it is very important when it comes to have like some challenges or even difficult part for the TOEIC exam. And also that I hope you guys can do for some extent, I mean, for some basic structure or just like understand for a grammar part, things like that. But sometimes like when we look at similar questions or a possible answer that can be test your ability to differentiate between the two or things like that. So what we need to do is that we have to make sure that we can have a thinking skill and put into practice and make sure that you can progress from time to time. Is that right? Great. Thank you so much for your sharing here. Anyone want to share? Just turn on first, turn on and then choose and then speak out. Excellent, excellent, and then excellent. Yeah, go ahead.
I choose one.
I
think this skill obtained in while studying you need an innovative way to access idea, and this can lead to the acquisition and without further length of vocabulary. And take people who engage in thinking skill may have more diverse word or phrase.
Great, thank you so much for your sharing here. Yeah, just type excellent into the line group. All right. Just because thinking skills is required to some extent, right? It's not just only for this core subject, ECP instruction here, but you can find out for other courses, right? For example, if you study for a core course of content writing or even digital content writing, you need to use a lot more creative thinking skills, and that's the way that we have to make sure that in order to master your skills, right, in English when it comes to have writing, creative writing. So you have to make sure that thinking skill might be important and it can be suited to that way too. Great. If anyone want to share, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'll go for the question 3. I think thinking skill is about thinking in think outside the box, means thinking in a creative and innovative way. By looking at a problem from a different perspective or looking at a thing from a different way. Or in other words, we can think of solutions are not the normal solution usually used to solve those types of problems, and can check out the problem in the non-traditional manners. For example, we can create things that come from regular products and adapt it in by thinking outside the box. But they have a little upside of it that people will judge you this different way because you are different person from the original people.
Great, thank you so much for sharing your perspective here. Just type excellent into the line group, please. All right, so one of your friends just raised the important aspect of thinking outside the box can create such an innovation, which far from the originality, I can say. But sometimes we have to bear in mind again that just because for some perspective, they can have a different perspective to what you choose. So it means that if we can implement or even create something innovation, so we have to make sure that it might not be affecting to other people to the large extent here, right? All right, thank you so much fun, right? Just type excellent here. Good. Thank you so much for all of us to have an interactive activity for today's class. I hope you guys enjoy with my flow of for you, right, to have an opportunities to speak up and sharing the ideas. Just because I would say that you can practice, and this is a way for all of us to practice English all together, right? Is enough for this activity? If enough, you can say yes. Type yes for me, please, and then we can move forward to the next part of listening here. I think it's enough, right? Yes, okay, good. Thank you so much for all of you. All right, so just look back for the listening. So I'm going to say that I'm going to give you a time for break, maybe 10 to 15 minutes, right? And during this time, I'm going to send you a link for listening part 4, which is deal with a talk in a business context, right? Again, just because for the talk, it might be a little bit challenging, some detailed description for that test, right? I just want you to practice the test for two times. The first one is that based on your own understanding, and the second one just examine what the area of improvement for your listening skill, right? Anyway, we can do as a homework, right? Just because you can practice by your own time. I would suggest that you can have a time or just slot the time only for 15 minutes to practice listening test, and you can be master from a weekly basis here, right? Okay, so it's time for you to go for break, and then we can come up later for a detailed exam here. So see you at 2:30. Okay. So let's get started for the second half here. Everyone can type XY for me, please. ใครพร้อมแล้วพิมพ์ XY นิดหนึ่งครับ12 คน10 คนนะ All right, all right, all right, all right. XY, XY. What we need to do for today class. All right. So I just want you to write a key important or an idea here, right? What is the main idea? So we can have like A, B, and then C, 3 passages, right? So what you need to do is that you have to read just only for 1 minute and then write the answer into the chat box, okay? And then we can check it out later. All right, good. Yeah, great. So just make sure that you got the main idea from the first paragraph here. Basically, it is a part of spoken communication from the TOEIC listening test part 4, right? So I just want to make sure that if you see some sentence, a paragraph here, and then you can get the meaning of it, right? So you can put understand the main idea of it. So it would be great, right? So someone said that trends rule. Thank you so much for your kindly participate in this kind of activity. Moving forward to B-Boy here. I'm going to timing for you just 1 minute. If you can have a topic sentence or main idea, just write it. All right, thank you so much for your sharing the idea, price of ticket, right? Yeah, so basically for this the main idea of the top here, it talks about like the introduction, the detailed information, right? Detailed information from the pricing, right? Which is can be negotiated. Yeah, like things like we have to understand from the give and take here. Moving to next section here, just because this is maybe one of the midterm exam too, just because I just want to make sure that you got the main idea from this kind of take or not. So just practice to each other if you wish to get a full score from a midterm exam. Okay, great. Okay, good. Thank you so much for your sharing the idea. So basically it's about the announcement, right, of Blue Sky Airlines, right? That is showing that it happens to something changes, right? Or suffer from this kind of thing. Thank you so much for all of you to write the answer here. Which you guys understand, right? The purpose of the finding the main idea. Great. อ่ะนะครับต่อเลย All right, so everyone can write the answer if you wish to answer from the question number 1 and 2. ลองทำดูนะครับไม่ยากไม่ยาก All right. So for this, for the first question, so we can see from the, business context, right? First quarter revenue, 45.1 billion from 44.7 billion in the year earlier. So I can see that the first question is deal with, verb form, right? Which is maybe straightforward to the business context here. So we can say like what we need here is that there's something positive, right? Increase or even rose to. So I have to say that all of you have to differentiate between the two, increase or rose to. I would say that when it comes to a business context, so we can be familiarized with rising up, rise to or rose to, right? So the answer will go for D dot here. พิมพ์ D ครับ Second, such a nesting bird, that bird then nests in trees and on cliffs, right? So basically from the sentence structure here, we can see that what we need is that subject plus verb. Is that right? Again, subject plus verb. So you have to make sure that which one is that subject plus verb. The answer will go for subject plus verb. Most stops are, right? ตอบข้อไหนดี C ไหมพิมพ์ C. Great. Moving to next questions here. My line manager wants the meeting blank immediately, right? So basically for this one is a little bit challenging to some extent, just because if we just, look at the first glance, we can see that 1 plus 2, is that right? But here, 1, 2 must be, must be placed close to each other. And what we see here is that the meeting, which is a noun here. So I have to say that you have to understand that a meeting is a person or the object. If we are referring to a person, we can see that this one would be present participle. But if we are referring to the object, so this one would be past participle. What I'm saying here is that past participle might be come up with ed or verb 3, right? So the answer will go for arrange. Everyone type C for me, please. Pim C. Before starting on the sea world, right? Prudent navigators learn sea chart. Memorize lighthouse location to prepare themselves for any condition they might encounter. So basically for this part of sentence structure here, we have to understand about, parallelism or parallel structure, right? When it comes to have a gerund, you have to make sure that the word following gerund must be gerund in the same way, right? So here we can see that learn is infinite verb, infinitive, is that right? And memorize also the infinitive. So what we need here is that infinitive. So just look at possible answer here. The answer must go for study the selling direction here. B boy. Pim B ครับใครพิมพ์ได้ A นะ ลองทำ5-6 ครับให้เวลาทำ He is excited about the new promotion and looking forward to. So we have to focus on looking forward to plus noun or gerund, right? So look at the possible answer here. We can see that the forms or structure here might be accurate to this blank. But what we need to see is that the meaning in context, is that right? Taking on is a responsibility, but take in, it means participate. So the answer will go for A. ทุกคนพิมพ์ A มันจะยากหน่อยนะ a little bit challenging is because we have come to reach to the, closely to the midterm exam. So I hope you guys understand what I'm saying here, just because we have to improve our understanding about grammar part or vocabulary in context too. Versatile performer, soprano, blah, 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 has often has often concluded a program of art, song, and areas with selection from ragtime in popular music. So we can see like what we need here is that article, right? A and the. So basically, when we define the article is that if we look at specific term, we use the, right? But here is a common or general noun. So the answer will go for A. Just type A for me, please. F. So the rest is not fit in this blank, so you can review it again, right? Move to next one. The flight arrived in Tokyo in 3 hours. Is that right? So the answer will go for A. A, Robin. Just because for this question we deal with preposition, right? So basically, you just see like arrive into or arrive in. Let's say like in Bangkok, in Tokyo, in KL, in Manila, things like that. So we refer to a country here. So what we need to put in this blank is that in Tokyo. Next, please, who was the first Black woman to run for the office for President of the United States since 1972? So here we can see that we have to have sentence, right, which composing of subject and verb agreement here, subject plus verb. So the answer we go for it was Shirley S. blah blah blah, right? The answer we go for B. Everyone type B for me, please. Next, please, property taxes. All right, property taxes, about 30% of overall tax revenue in the state collected. So here we can deal with the appropriate verb or with choices here, right? When we look at the first sentence here, we can see that it deals with business context, basically, right? So what we need to see is that what kind of like vocabulary that could be fit to the taxes or money. So I would say that the most fit for this blank is that account for. So the answer will go for D. Phím D. Next, please. Resemble iron, nickel, and venture strength appearance, right? So we can see like the noun, and noun would be a parallelism, right? Or parallel structure here. So the answer we go for and hardness. The answer we go for D. Phím D. Great. Next, please. ลองทำเองนะฮะอันนี้ไม่ยากละ11 12 11ตอบ D หรือเปล่าไม่ใช่ Please place them right over there and then phone reception to let them know that they have arrived. So here we need an object. So the most fit answer here is that them. Great. Next, please, 12. Annual report. So we deal with the superlative form, right? From the adjective will be submitted in its entirely next week board meeting in our headquarters. So what we need here is that superlative, right? Adjective with superlative here, the latest. Is that right? ถ้าเป็น the latest ตอบ A เก่งมาก I have 13 14 Maintenance has requested that employee place link, right, to be disposed of separate container, just because we need an adjective plus now, right? So the answer will go for D down here. I think it's not that hard, right? So you can put the answer here. Yeah, it's not a little bit challenging here. So our year-end figures, like are time consuming to calculate, and we always struggle to submit them online, right? Struggle. The answer is for B-boy. ท ทำเองเลยครับ15 16ไม่ยากละลองแชร์เข้ามาได้เดี๋ยวนะ10 วัน Alright, great. She was consulting with someone in her office when she was interrupted by, is that right? Just because we need a passive form here, interrupted by. B-boy, type B for me, please. Next, please. A candidate spent a amount of money. So for this question, we have to look at closely at which one can be described. If you just specify spent here, so what we need here is that an adverb that can be described, a verb here. But if we put a amount of money here, and we can see that this one would be like an adjective describe a noun here, right? So which one is more important to you? I can say that amount of money would be like significant than spent, right? So the answer we go for exorbitant. B-boy. You are with me, right? 17 and 18. A new photocopier for a department can be purchased as soon as the form are submitted. Blank, not before. But not before. So we can specify that the meaning in context, which is different or contradict to each other, right? So you can look at not, which is different, right, in terms of meaning, and is contradict to each other. So what we need here is that but not before. That's correct. Thank you for your cooperation. Next, please. Factory workers often work together in pairs with a blah 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 responsibility to keep the line moving. So basically here we have to see that what we need is that an adjective plus noun. Is that right? Mutual responsibility, partner responsibility, relative responsibility, or even couple responsibility. So when we can see from a possible answer here, right? Partner, relative, couple can be described a person. Individuality instead of responsibility here. So the answer will go for A. พิมพ์ A พิมพ์เกรดครับทุกคนลองพิมพ์เกรดสิลองพิมพ์เข้ามาอยากได้อะไรลองพิมพ์เข้ามา Next, please, 19 and 20. Petrol who want to refund exchange must make a request at the customer service center within 1 month from the date of purchase. So basically you can try to look at what can be familiarized or what you used to use this kind of word, right? Or just make sense from the date of purchase is that the must fit for this context, right? So the answer we go for A. Yeah. Next, please, 20. Audience members are asked, is that right? Remind to switch off the electronic devices if they attend any of the presentation scheduling throughout the conference. Basically, for the question 20, we can see that we deal with conditional sentences. Is that right? If they attend, so we look at the sentence structure here is that present simple form, which is followed by with future form or even model form here. But here is that it happens to reality. I can say that what you need to put for the right word into the right blank is that remind. So the answer would go for B boy. พิมพ์ B ครับเก่งมาก Clear, right? Done for first two the all of answer here. I would say that for this one is that for the advanced structure, it can be possible to be a midterm exam, right? So I'm going to say that you can practice at home. Is that okay? At home, right? All right. Everyone is clear, right? Clear, pim clear. Pim clear หน่อยสิ clear แล้วแหละนะฮะเราจะได้ไปทำอย่างอื่นต่อ All right, so moving to next one is that text completion. I'm going to give you maybe 3 minutes, right? 3 minutes. Let's say like not more than 3 minutes. You can finish from the question 1 to 4 here. You can type the answer if you wish to do so. And after that, I'm going to give the answer and explanation to each other, right? เดี๋ยวให้เวลาทำ3 นาทีนะครับ Okay. Uh-huh.
ที่หนูเมลไปอะค่ะคือหนูสามารถส่งเข้าไปในกลุ่มไลน์หรือว่าต้อง make note ไว้ในไลน์กลุ่มเหรอคะ
เขียนชื่อนะครับแล้วก็ ID student เข้าไปในไลน์กลุ่มแล้วก็ส่งตัวสกอร์มาทางไลน์ของอาจารย์ครับผมเป็น personal line ก็ได้ครับ
ไลน์ส่วนตัวใช่ไหมคะ
ใช่ครับโอเคแต่ว่า make sure ว่าเขียนชื่อกับ ID student ลงไปในโน้ตกลุ่มก่อนนะฮะโอเคเพราะว่า I จะเช็คตามนั้นก่อนครับ
โน้ตที่เป็น exemption list
ใช่ exemption list ที่มีคนคอมเมนต์ชื่อรันลงมาครับตัวนั้นเลยครับผม
โอเคค่ะขอบคุณค่ะ
ครับผม all right I hope you guys finish and done for this kind of activity right takes completion here notice parking notice here all right so we can see from the first question first. Parking along the street and Frederickton downtown area is prohibited every second and fourth Thursday of the month between 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. And 12 p.m. for cleaning. So the reason is that they're going to have a cleaning, right? So the answer must deal with the consequences or any possibility that is related to cleaning here. Just look at for the possible answer here. So A, City had to adjust parking rate every 2 months. No, it's not deal with cleaning, right? City sanitation vehicle and crew will be working to the roadway during this time. And then regulation has been implemented to reduce weekend traffic. Or if when there is several weight, you can pay and fare for parking. So basically it deals with sanitation just because it is a close meaning for cleaning here, right? So the answer will go for B. Great, thank you so much for your kindly cooperate here. Next, please. I can say that for the second question, you have to make sure that you got a different part of speech in each noun, right? For example, receive as a noun, receive, receivable, adjective, receive is one verb, is that right? Or receive a verb too. So what we need here, we have to see that a grammar part that is request you to put the right one into the right blank, which part of speech that we can fit for. Okay, let's moving back to the second question here. This must be paid within 30 days of plus now, is that right? So the answer will go for receipt, is that right? ตอบข้อไหน A ป่ะ A เก่งมากครับลองพิมพ์เกรดไม่ยากนะ alright ต่อนะ you alright so we have to deal with question number 3 and 4 here. Basically, I would suggest to all of us to look at the possible answer first, just because when it comes to have a TOEIC test, it's running out of time. So you have to use tip and strategy and deal with this kind of problem. Flexible, technical, exemplary, and subsequent. So here is all about, it's about an adjective, right? But it's a different adjective, but in terms of part of speech, it's the same. So what we need here, we have to see the context. Let's take a look for question number 3. CD schedule permit vehicle owners to challenge a ticket validity within the same 30-day period, and owner may make an appeal if they disagree with the outcome on violation. So what we need here is that must be connected to violation, right? Flexible ได้ไหมลองไล่ไม่น่าได้ technical, exemplary, or subsequent. So the answer will go for subsequent violation. Is that right? Deduct ต้องเป็น deduct นะฮะ Yeah, great. Thank you so much for your sharing here. Next, please, lead, led, and leading. So here we can see from the root word is the same, right? Lead, leading. But what we have to come up is that which one would be the correct answer here. I would say that you have to look back into that blank. Repeat it. Negligent could also lead to, is that right? Lead to, just because we need an infinitive form. So the answer will go for ตอบข้อไหนครับ lead, right? ลองพิมพ์เกรดพิมพ์อะไรดีพิมพ์ A นั่นแหละนะ alright. Done, right? Okay, shall we move to the last session for today's class? We can finish at, we can finish at, yeah, so vocabulary, right? We have come to the last section for today. I'm going to let you do vocabulary expansion here. Investigation, intention, invaluable, interruption, inventory, invoice, isolate, itinerary, issue, or identification, right? Second is that jealous, jeopardize, journey, justice, justification, jobless, knowledgeable, keen on, right? Journal or judgment. So just be reminded again that once you look at for synonymous word or you know, the similar terms of the word here, I would say that you have to look at the part of speech first and then see the same way of it. For example, like jeopardize is a verb, so you need to come up with verb here. It's okay. All right, and then here label, leisure activity, lay off, So some kind of like get lay off, meaning that it can be possible to be a verb and a noun at the same time, right? So just make sure that what is the meaning of a verb and what is the meaning of noun. I mean, for some kind of a two-word verb, it kind of is a little bit challenging, but it is still interesting, right? I just want you to expand in the right direction, meaning that if you put the similar word, you have to make sure that it goes hand in hand from part of speech in the same way, right? So just make sure bit, all right, liability, lobby, luxurious, like leasing, right? Lease can be verb and leasing can be noun, or lease can be noun, whatever here, lawful or lack. All right, so I hope you guys understand what I'm saying here. Just expand the vocabulary, and I'm going to timing for 10 minutes, and we can finish a class by doing this kind of activity together. Yeah. เดี๋ยวให้เวลา10 นาทีนะครับใครเสร็จแล้วให้พิมพ์ done 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 so much for done, right? Okay, great. So now we have come to the last session for today's class. I hope you guys enjoy what my saying, speaking, instructing to all of you here. Verb expression with preposition or collocation here. Again, right? Just choose one of three, and then you have you can construct or you can create meaningful sentence here. Had run out of money. Filled with horror, burst into tears, or drive anybody to crime, right? I would suggest that you have to look for the literal meaning, I mean the exact meaning of it first, and then try to comprehend or understand it a bit. And after that, if you're ready, just turn on the microphone and speak up here.
Can I?
Yep.
I choose the first one. I had run out of money before the end of the month.
Thank you so much for your sentences. See you next week on site midterm exam. Yeah, next.
I go for one.
Mhm.
I had run out of money, so I plan to save money after that.
Mhm. Great, thank you so much. Next, please.
I
I
choose
go.
number one.
Oh, we got. Okay, I go for number two.
Mhm.
As he walked through the creepy dark old house, it filled him with horror and made him burst into tears.
Thank you so much for your sentences. All right, next, please.
I go for one.
Mhm.
I had run out of money because I just bought concert ticket.
I see. Thank you for your sentences. See you next week. Next.
I choose number one too. After an unexpected medical bill, Dodo had run out of money.
Great. Thank you so much for your sharing such a wonderful sentences here. Next, please.
I also choose number one.
Mhm.
She has run out of money, so she had to cancel her vacation plans.
Thank you so much for your sentences. All right, next, please.
Can I?
Yeah.
I choose number one. I want to go to the books festival, but now I had run out of money.
Great. Thank you so much for your sentences. All right, next, please. So now we're gonna have like 4 students left. You can prepare and you can talk. But first of all, you have to turn on the microphone first. Yeah. Any questions so far? If you have a question. So next week we are going to have the on-site midterm exam. Right? Just be reminded that everyone have to present in front of the class and on-site setting actually. Yeah.
อาจารย์ครับอาทิตย์หน้าก็คือสอบใช่
ต้อง
ไหมครับ
ต้องไปมอใช่ ก็คือเรามีเจอกันแค่สอบ midterm final เพราะว่าสอบเขาบังคับ on-site
ครั้งหน้าคือครั้งสุดท้ายแล้วครับ
ไม่ใช่หมายถึงว่าเราจะมีmidterm กับ final ถูกไหมฮะ
อ๋อ
แต่ว่า
แล้วถ้าอาทิตย์หน้านี่มันยังพีได้อยู่ไหมครับ
หมายถึงว่า present เหรอ
ใช่ครับ
อ๋อได้สิ present ตลอด present ทุกวีคอยู่แล้ว
ผมนึกว่าอาทิตย์หน้าแบบอาทิตย์สุดท้ายแบบไม่ให้พี
อ๋อไม่หมายถึงว่า present มันก็รันไปตามคลาสแหละ
เรื่อยๆ
แต่ว่า
ใช่ไหม
ใช่แต่ว่าบางกลุ่มก็ present ก่อนก็ได้ ถ้าอยากให้มันจบไปเราจะได้ไม่ต้องทำ present แต่ว่าถ้ายังเรียนจนถึงfinal เนี่ยก็ต้องทำ present ไม่งั้นมันจะหายไป 20% นะฮะใช่
ไอ้ที่สอบนี่ก็คือตั้งแต่ที่เราเรียนมาเลยใช่ไหมครับ
ข้อสอบ TOEIC สอบใน
โอเค
Google Form แต่ว่าเพียงแต่ว่าบังคับนิสิตให้มาสอบในคลาสเฉยๆเพราะว่ามันเป็นการสอบนะเดี๋ยว
ก็คือมีทั้ง
policy
ช้อยมีทั้งเขียนใช่ไหมครับ
ใช่ครับก็เป็น listening นะครับ10,000ข้อสอบ TOEIC แหละแล้วก็มาฟิลกันในคลาสนะฮะมันเนี่ย
โอเคครับขอบคุณมากครับ
ครับผม next please ใครเปิดไมค์
sentence ของหนูเลือก I choose number 3 drive everybody to farm. Okay, my sentence is the lack of opportunities and money in some areas may drive anybody to crime for survival.
Great. Thank you so much for your sentence, right? See you next week on site midterm, right? ใครอยากรีบซูมรีบเลยนะฮะอีก2 คน
มี
สุดท้ายครับ
มี
ผม
มีคำถามเกี่ยวกับมิด
ครับ
เทอมค่ะ
ว่า
อาจาร
ไง
ย์
ฮะ
คือถ้าเพื่อน2 คนเขาอยากพูดก่อนให้เขายกมือได้เลยนะคะ เพราะว่าอาจจะแบบหนูกลัวว่าหนูนาน คืออันเนี้ยค่ะทำใน Google Form หมดเลยเหรอคะ
ใช่เพราะว่าของอาจารย์เนี่ยอาจารย์คือด้วยความที่แบบจริงๆแล้วเนี่ยเรารันคลาสออนไลน์มาประมาณ 2-3 ปีเนาะเพราะฉะนั้นเนี่ยทุกอย่างเป็น Google Form แต่ทีนี้เนี่ยทางมหาวิทยาลัยบังคับให้ midterm กับ final เนี่ยเป็น on site แต่อาจารย์คิดว่าทำ Google Form ก็ได้แค่เราจับตัวเองมาสอบที่สอบที่โรงเรียนเฉยสอบที่มหาลัยเฉยครับใช่ก็คือทำทุกอย่างใน Google Form ใช่ครับเพราะฉะนั้น make
2 ชั่ว
sure
โมงใช่ไหมคะ
2 ชั่วโมงจบครับผม
กี่ข้อคะอาจารย์ listening กี่ข้อ
เยอะ
แล้ว
นะ
ก็
100 ข้อ listening คือทำพร้อมกัน 45 นาที ก็คือเปิด YouTube ถูกไหมฮะแล้วก็รันข้อสอบมา แล้วก็เราก็ทำในห้องไปนะฮะทำพร้อมกันแล้วหลังจากนั้นเนี่ยอีก 75 นาทีก็คือชั่วโมง 15 นาทีให้ทำพาร์ท grammar กับ vocab แต่ข้อสอบเนี่ยจะเป็นแค่พาร์ท 5 พาร์ท 6 ที่เราติวกันนะครับหมายถึงว่าข้อสอบแน่นอนว่าไม่เหมือนในคลาสอยู่แล้วแต่ว่าจะดิวแค่พาร์ทจะดิวแค่พาร์ท 5 กับพาร์ท 6 เพราะว่าตัว reading เราไปสอบ final ต่อคือของอาจารย์จะแบ่งเป็นเพราะว่ามันจะเยอะนะฮะหมายถึงว่าเราก็ทำข้อสอบ100 ข้อเลยก็ทำเยอะข้อสอบจะเยอะแต่ว่าข้อสอบไม่ได้ยากแต่เราต้องทำให้ทันแค่นั้นเองครับ
ขอบคุณค่ะ ถ้าอ
ค
ย่าง
รั
นี้ก็
บ
คื
ผ
อ
ม
พวกเราก็คือเตรียมตัวก็คืออ่านสไลด์เก่า
จ
ประมาณ
ริง
พัน
ๆ แค่นั้นเองใช่ฮะ
ไหมคะ
ครับผมไม่ต้องเตรียมตัวเยอะวิชานี้ก็คือเอ่อคือด้วยความที่แบบวิชามันเป็นวิชาโทอีกหนูสามารถไปหาข้อสอบโทอีกข้างนอกมาฝึกทำได้นะครับหรือทำความเข้าใจกับสิ่งที่อาจารย์สอนไป เพราะว่าอาจารย์ก็สอนข้อสอบเนาะเมื่อกี้ที่สอนมามันก็คือข้อสอบใช่ประมาณนั้น
จำเป็นต้องเอาปากกาอะไรไปด้วยไหมคะ ปากกาจริง
ไม่
ดินสอ
เพราะว่ามันเป็น Google Form หนูเคยสอบผ่าน Google Form ถูกปะมันก็คือพิมพ์ฮะฟีลนั้นมากกว่าใช่เพราะของเราคือจริงๆแล้วถ้าเกิดว่าจะสั่งให้ทำเป็น paper based ก็ได้แต่ไอคิดว่ามันวุ่นวายก็เลยคิดว่าทำเป็น Google Form ก็เป็นออปชันที่น่าสนใจถูกไหมฮะครับ
อาจารย์คะถ้าเกิดว่าเป็น Google Form แบบนี้แล้วก็เป็นข้อสอบอารมณ์เหมือนโทอีกแบบนี้ คือทั้งหมดก็คือจะมี choice ให้เราเลือกใช่ไหมคะ
ถูกต้องครับก็คือเป็น4 choice ครับผมก็ทำข้อสอบเรื่อยๆก็เหมือนทำข้อสอบในห้องที่สอนไปครับแต่มันก็มีทั้งยากและง่ายนะมันไม่ได้หมายความว่าแบบมันจะเป็นโทอีกจ๋าขนาดนั้นเพราะว่าด้วยความที่เราเรียนกันก็มีความ complex เบาๆอะไรอย่างเงี้ยครับ
ขอบคุณมากนะคะอาจารย์ขอบคุณ
ครั
ค่ะ
บขอบคุณมากครับ see you next week on site นะฮะห้ามขาดนะใครขาด midterm นี้เกรดไม่
บ่าย
ออ
โม
ก
งครึ่งบ่าย
ครับ
โมงครึ่งตรง
แนะ
เวลา
นำให้ไปก่อนบ่ายโมงครึ่งเพราะว่าอาจารย์จะรันสอบบ่ายโมงครึ่งเพราะฉะนั้นถ้าใครมาเลทก่อนบ่ายโมงครึ่งนั่นหมายว่า listening ก็คือต้อง handle เองนะหมายถึงว่าเพราะมันต้องทำพร้อมกันนะครับ
โอเค
ครับ
ค่ะ
see you ครับ
อาจารย์คะ
anyone ครับ
อันนี้เพื่อนหนูถามมาเกี่ยวกับเซมอะค่ะ exemption
exam ว่าไงฮะ sem
คือถ้าสมมติว่าเหมือนกับเพื่อนเขาบอกว่าเทอมเนี้ยค่ะ เราต้องสอบเราเรียนเราสอบแล้วเกรดจะออกใช่ไหมคะของมิดเทอมแต่ถ้าสมมติว่าเราไปเซมก่อนเหมือนกับเพื่อนไปสอบหลังมิดเทอมอะค่ะเดือนหน้าอะไรแบบเนี้ยค่ะ แล้วก็เอาใบนั้น
ไม่
อะ
เป็นไร
มายื่นเซม
exam เนี่ยยื่นได้ถึงวันที่ 30 พฤศจิกายน timeline deadline ของเขาเนี่ยคือก่อน final นะครับแต่ว่าจริงๆแล้วเด็กก็ทยอยมาได้แต่ว่าถ้าเกิดว่าเราอยู่จนถึง final อาจารย์ก็คิดว่าก็สอบในคลาสก็เหมือนกันแต่เพียงแต่ว่า exam เนี่ยมันจะ play safe ตรงที่ว่าถ้าหนู exam แล้วเนี่ยมันจะได้ A auto หมายถึงว่ายังไงก็ถูกกรอบเกรดมาเป็น A อยู่แล้วแต่ว่าเราก็อาจจะไม่ได้เรียนว่าต้องทำข้อสอบเป็นประมาณไหนอะไรอย่างเงี้ยฟีลนั้นใช่แต่ว่าไม่เป็นไรก็คือสำหรับนิสิตที่ exempt คือ make sure อยู่แล้วว่าเขาเกิน 700 ก็ควรให้ A ไปแค่นั้นเองครับไม่มีปัญหา
ก็คือที่สอบถ้าสมมติว่าหนูทำมิดเทอมได้แย่มากแบบเนี้ยค่ะก็
ก็
แต่
แนะ
ว่าหนู
นำ
เอา
ให้
มา
ไป
exempt
exempt
ทีหลัง
ใช่ได้ไม่
ก็
มี
คื
ปั
อ
ญ
ได้
หา
ใช่ไหมคะ
ไม่คือมันไม่ได้ยากขนาดนั้นอย่าไปซีเรียสนะฮะแต่ว่าไม่รู้สิคือถ้าเกิดว่าเราเลือกที่จะไปสอบโทอีกหนูก็ควรจะสอบให้ได้เกิน 700 เพื่อมา exempt ถูกไหมครับเพราะถ้าเกิดว่าเราสอบไม่ถึง 700 เนี่ยเราก็ทำอะไรไม่ได้กับคอร์สตัวนี้แต่พี่หนูว่า ในมุมของอาจารย์โดโดเนี่ย I recommend ให้นิสิตเนี่ยสอบให้ได้เกิน750เพราะมันจะเซมได้2ตัว let's say ว่า3.3ตัวหนึ่งเทอมแรกถูกไหมฮะแล้วหนูก็ไปเซมตัว2ได้เหมือนกันแล้วเราก็มานั่งแบบ sit in หรือว่านั่งทำ interview เพราะว่าเทอมหน้าเนี่ยอาจารย์จะสอนเป็น interview เขาเรียกว่า interview สำหรับสมัครงานน่ะเพราะว่าคน exempt เยอะมากคือ LCI ของเรา exempt ประมาณ 80%มันจะเหลือคลาสไม่กี่คนเราก็ทำ interview เลยนะครับฟิลนั้น
โอเคค่ะ ขอบคุณมาก
ข
ค่ะ
อบ
อา
คุ
จาร
ณ
ย์
ครับครับผม see you next week นะฮะบายบาย ไม่น่ามีแล้วแหละดูทรงละใครอยากพูดเปิดไมค์เลยนะฮะไม่มีนะ if not I have to finish a class just only this and see you next week on site midterm exam bye bye thank you